10 years, a whole decade. It feels surreal to even say that. 10 years since my accident. 10 years since my life completely changed. Back then, I had no idea what my future would look like. And honestly, I still don't have all the answers. But the difference is, now I know that it's okay. When I made my last video about this 5 years ago, I was in a very, very different place. A lot has happened since then. Things I never expected, things I never even dreamed about. But at the same time, some things haven't changed. Some struggles, some fears, some uncertainties, they still exist. And I want to talk about all of it today, the good, the bad, the unexpected. Because if there's one thing life has taught me over the last decade, it's that we're all still figuring things out. And that's okay. And if you have no clue what I'm talking about my accident or any of that, I would ask you to go check out this video over here first and then come back and watch this because otherwise you will not have any context on what actually happened. So I think it's a little better if you go check that out and come back and let's talk about things. Let's rewind for a moment. Not because I want to dwell on the past, but because I think it's important to acknowledge where it all began. I was 24, going on 25, when the accident happened. At that age, you feel indestructible. You have plans, you have dreams, this whole sense that your whole life is ahead of you. And then suddenly everything changes. In an instant, you're no longer in control. Life takes over and you're kind of forced to adapt. I won't go into all the details again, you've heard them before. But what I do want to say is this: when something like this happens, it doesn't just change your body, it changes your mind, your whole perspective, your entire understanding of who you are. At first, it felt like I lost everything: my sense of independence, my confidence, even my identity. But looking back now, I realize I didn't lose myself. I just became someone new. Healing isn't a straight path. It's messy, it's painful, and some days it feels like you're making no progress at all. But eventually, when you wake up one day and realize you're not where you started anymore. The first few, the first few years after my accident were the hardest, physically, emotionally, mentally. There were moments of frustration, of anger, of feeling stuck. But little by little, I found my way. I adapted. I learned. And then, somewhere along the way, life started surprising me. I never imagined that I would become a full time sustainability content creator, that I would be featured in articles, that I would win awards, that I would have opportunities to work with brands that I believe in, national and international. I never thought my voice would matter in the way it does today, but it does. And that's something I'm honestly super grateful for. 5 years ago, I was still figuring out my place in this world. And honestly, I still am. But now I have proved that no matter what happens, I can figure things out because I already have. So, where am I today? Well, I would say life right now is interesting. There are so many things I love about my life right now. I get to create content that matters. I get to connect with thousands of people who care about sustainability, veganism, and making the world a better place. I have a community that supports me, friends who understand me, and experience I never thought I would have. I've stopped buying first hand clothes for years now, and it's changed the way I see fashion. I've embraced a lifestyle that actually aligns with my values. I've been able to inspire people, not just to be sustainable, but to, rethink the way they live their lives. And that is something that I never, ever, ever take for granted. But if I'm being honest, not everything is perfect. And I don't want to pretend that it is. I still have moments where I feel stuck, where I question what's next, where I wonder if I'm doing enough or if I'm on the right path. Because as much as I love what I do, there's still so much uncertainty. There are days when I wake up and think, what's next for me? What do I want to build? Where do I see myself in 5, 10, 20 years? And the truth is, I don't know. And that can be scary. But here's what I do know: I have lost before, and I found my way. I have faced uncertainty before, and I did figure it out. So even on days when I feel stuck, I have to remind myself this is not the end of my story. This is probably the start of a new chapter. So, what's next for me? Honestly, I don't have a perfect answer. But what I do know is that I want to keep growing. I want to keep learning, keep pushing myself in ways that feel right. Maybe that means expanding what I do as a creator. Maybe it means diving deeper into activism. Maybe it's something I haven't even thought of yet. And that's okay. And maybe that's the best part, that after everything I've been through, I still have the freedom to explore, to change, to evolve. And I know no matter what comes next, I will figure it out, just like I did before. So if you have been here since my last video on this, thank you. If you're new here, I hope this gave you something to think about. And if you've ever felt lost, if you're going through something right now that feels impossible, just remember, you're not stuck. You're still becoming who you are meant to be. Even if you don't see it yet, you are sort of moving forward. Now, drop 10 years in the comments if you made it to the end. Let's see how many of you stuck around for this whole conversation. And tell me, what is a moment in your life that changed everything for you? I would love to hear your stories too. So I'll see you again next time for the next video. So until then, bye bye.